Bamya and rose, or okra stew and rice. Here are the spices I'll be using to start with the stew meat. And what I normally do is, here's my pot of stew meat. And I just bought some lean stew meat from Walmart. I bought these. This is 2 packs. The only thing I added in was some Arabic 7 spice. And then right here, I am dropping in literally 1 onion, just like this. And then I have 1 lemon that I have just cut in half, dropping it in just like this. And then I will be placing more spices. I have another type of allspice ground that I get at the Middle Eastern grocery store. And everything I eyeball, just about like this. It's probably 2 tablespoons maybe, a little bit less than that. Then I've got this brand, which I love, from Costco, Kirkland brand, cinnamon. And I put some in here as well. I find cinnamon brings out a really pretty cool, neat flavor to all foods. Garlic powder. I just like to keep everything nice and neat. And then if you are using pink salt, that's completely okay. I kind of interchange between pink salt and natural sea salt. After this meat, I'm going to add water in it, and after it boils, because I'm going to boil it until it becomes very tender, the remaining juices that are there kind of sort of become the stock, the beef stock that's used in the stew as well. And then this is some onion powder. Sorry. Okay. And then that's it. I am going to be, we have filtered water in our home, so I'm going to be filling this up. And the reason I put that lemon and the onion is I just find that they help eliminate any type of, I don't know, gaminess, taste, or smell to meats, or fish, or chicken, poultry, any type of rancid flavor or smell. I find that the onion and lemon kill all that. And then I'm going to transfer it over to our stovetop. And I'm going to turn it on. And I'll put it probably like a medium-high heat. And I'll probably have this boiling for probably an hour to 2. More like maybe an hour 30, hour 45. And I'll keep checking on it constantly, stirring it constantly. Right now, I'm just going to let it start boiling. And then I'll get back to you with the rest of the items. Thank you.
Hey everybody, I'm the chef's assistant, and I'm coming over here to make sure everything looks good. And it does. Thanks.
Okay, so I've let the stew meat boil for about 2 hours, a little over 2. I would take out 1 piece every 30 to 45 minutes just to taste it and see how tender it got. If it's still not tender, I had added more water, just a little bit more, so because it does evaporate, and you want to add a little more water so it has more time to cook. Finally, at the end, when it was cooked, I tasted it was really tender. I took out the onion, threw it out, and took out the 2 pieces of lemon, threw them out. That's the result. There's the broth, the meat's inside. And then now I'm about to work on, I just bought these golden yellow potatoes. I will cut these up. I'm gonna slice these up and put them in here with some olive oil. And I would say 2 to 3 tablespoons worth. And then what I'm doing with the potatoes is they're so small, so I can just cut them up into fourths like that. And if I see any part that I don't like, I just quickly cut it off. Put it in here. If I've got a big piece like this, I might do a little more than fourths, like that. But you want them about this size. Again, here's another, and this is how they look. With the carrots, I'm probably going, if it's a long one like this, probably going to do this. Put them in, and then this would be in threes. Put them in. So I'm going to continue working on these. I'm going to put them all in here, and then I'm going to saute these, and I'll show you that in a minute. Okay, so I finished slicing and chopping potatoes, carrots. I've put, they're in the olive oil. I put the stovetop medium high, more on the high. And then I'm getting it going, just stirring it up a little bit. I'm gonna saute these for probably 10 minutes, maybe 12 minutes. And then I will continue with adding the okra, the beef broth and stew meat, and then some tomato sauce, and I will show you when that's assembled. Okay. It has been about 12 minutes. I've let this saute, and I kind of just kept stirring it off and on. And then about halfway or midway through the cooking process, I lowered the heat a little bit to about a medium versus a medium high. And now I have the frozen okra ready. I get these in bags. Brand name is Montana. I get them at the Arabic store or Middle Eastern grocery store. So I have 3 bags of frozen baby okra. I like the baby ones, they're just easier to eat. And I have the stew meat and it's stock ready. And then I've opened up 3 cans. 2 are the tomato sauce. I try my best to always buy organic, and then one of them is the organic diced tomatoes. I'm gonna put these all in. Everything's gonna be assembled in here. So let's give it a go. A little frozen because I had to wash them off, and so they're still a little bit stuck together. And that's okay. And that's 3 bags. And then I'm going to be putting in the stew meat stock. Remember, this has seasoning already. Here's how the stew meat looked. And of course, you still see some seasoning. And then I'm going to add in, let me grab a quick spoon. Rinse that. I'll be adding in the tomato sauce. I like these longer, thinner wooden spoons. And what I like to do, again, our water is filtered water, so still like adding a little bit, stir it around and get that going. Go on to the next can. Get some water in there. Stir it around. And then our last can will be the diced tomatoes. Because I like to taste like real tomato chunks in the bamya or okra stew. Okay. And then I just give it a stir up everything together, and you can see how you like the consistency. This looks like it's gonna need some more water, so I'll be adding some more, but also don't forget that as you boil, it does get more liquidy or more watery. I'm going to be adding some water, lemon juice, and Arabic allspice in just a couple minutes, but let me get this stirred up. Okay, and then I've added about another 3/4 of this can of water, and I've got my Arabic allspice, and I'm going to put in about this much. And I'm going to be putting in, I get this from Costco as well. Give it a good shake. And I love my Bamya or Okra stew lemony. So we'll be adding lemon. Seems like a lot, I know, but it's not, I promise. Give it a good stir. Get the spices in, lemon in. And this is ready to be put back on the stovetop. Give it another good boil, probably another 20 minutes or so. Let it come to a boil and then simmer for about 10 minutes or so. And it should be ready. I may just have to add salt to taste depending on how it tastes in the end. But you can see the colors. You've got the green okra, the potatoes, and you've got carrots, meat, some potatoes, and then the stew meat's in there. And I'm gonna get this back on to boil. Okay, this is a video on how to make the ruz bashari, or the basmati rice with the noodles. So I'm gonna put the olive oil. Again, I don't really measure, I eyeball everything. This is for about 5 cups of rice. And this is the olive oil I use. And then here are they're kind of like broken up. They're vermicelli or little baby angel hair noodles. Again, this is for about 5 cups of rice, so there's quite a bit. And you could add more if you want, but I think that's enough for these. I'm going to put these on the stovetop. You want it at a good high heat. I'm putting it on about 6 right there. But you really have to monitor these. You cannot take your eye off of them because they can burn really, really quickly. So I'm kind of mixing them up with the olive oil. Okay, they're drenched enough right now. And I'm just gonna get my water ready. So I'm gonna be using filtered water. And if it's 5 cups of rice, I'm gonna measure out 7.5 cups of water, because each cup of rice will take about 1.5 cups of water. So have your water already measured out, so that when this begins to turn golden with a little bit of a caramel color, not brown, obviously that's gonna burn, but golden to caramel, then that's when you add in your water. See, they're quickly turning, so I turn the heat down, which you immediately want to do simultaneously. Simultaneously, you will put your water in. I like to do a little bit over 7.5, a little bit over the required amount. And everything I cook with is filtered water, or if you have a pot filler, electric kettle, whatever you'd like. My parents taught me to put boiling water into this, and I've noticed over the years I just learned it doesn't have to be boiling water, so I'm okay with tap water that's filtered. And then once that had started to turn golden, I turned down the heat at the same time pouring in the water. So I'm gonna keep the heat on low while I measure out my rice. Okay, I have already measured out, I'm making 5 cups rice, so I've already measured out 4 cups, and it's in there. And now here's my last cup of rice to make a total of 5. I just wash my hands. Everything I do, I always wash my hands, soap and water before touching any food items. And then I'm going to pour in my rice. And then all that's missing is the salt. Usually the measurements for this basmati rice is however many cups of rice you're making. That's the same amount of teaspoons of olive oil and salt that you'll be using. Remember, the heat is still on the low because I don't want anything to cook yet. I'm gonna stir everything just to mix it, the noodles with the rice. And then I'm about to add in the salt. And for this, I prefer adding in the pink Himalayan salt. And again, I'm not big on measuring. I just eyeball everything. And I mean, that might be the right way or wrong way. It's just my way. And then here's the salt. I'm gonna put about 5 teaspoons, equivalent of 2, 3. I like the pink Himalayan salt for the rice. Now I'm gonna give it one last stir just to make sure the salt is mixed well in there. Because I don't like pieces of salty areas in the rice and pieces of unsalty areas that are completely bland, no taste, nothing. Okay, then I will cover this, and I like to leave a little bit of an opening. I just found it cooks better that way. And then I'm gonna turn up my temperature to about this. And then I'm probably gonna keep it on this temperature for about 10 or so minutes, and then I'm gonna turn down the temperature to 2, probably another 10 minutes, and it should be done, hopefully. Okay, and it has been about, I guess, 25 minutes or so. The last 5 minutes, I just put it on the lowest heat setting, the low, which is probably like a simmer, just to make sure that it's all cooked through and everything looks to be delicious. I'm going to serve this like that. Not a lot, because I just want to get a taste of it. And then here is the finished Bamya or okra stew. It has boiled, I gave it a good boil and then turned it down and kept it on the stovetop for another probably 20 minutes or so. You want to try to grab a little bit of everything, put it on top like this, and there you go.